Good afternoon, everyone. This is PreMarket Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin getting some water, Mitch Hotch with you for the final few minutes of today's session. We are having a
We got some fun.
it's been a rather eventful day, but it's really been gotten even more eventful in the past few minutes. Joel, are we still making new lows on the day right now?
How low can you go? Yeah, finally, man. This market just was so boring. Now we're shaking things up a little bit. Just as I was rebooting my computer, we took out the pre-market low. One thing I really like to use as a trading tool, and that was at 84 and a quarter. We are now at 35.78. Not sure what the tizzy's about here in the market, but couldn't
Show,
make a new high.
show us
Found
what you
some
got.
resistance. You got some news me.
Show us what you got though on this chart. I don't really
Uh,
have any
news
any real.
me.
I mean, there's various new COVID restrictions happening. It's been happening for a couple of days, couple of weeks now. Um, I mean, I don't know if I can attribute this move to any specific headline.
New York
There
schools.
are a lot of headlines out there, but it could be technical. It could just be sell imbalances. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
really
we don't
sure.
know. Yeah, those would have been circulated. No, I think the market got a little bit of ahead of itself, and I don't know. Someone was asking me when I was on the Corlin Economic Report. The market's supposed to forecast 4 to 6 months out, right?
In theory.
So the market was, forecasting that everything was peachy keen, and I think things are going to be fine. I just don't know if it's going to be at the pace that the market priced in. So how's that
Yeah.
for a jumbled answer? But let me move on. Crude in a yo-yo range, up 26 cents after being all the way at 42.68. So that is under $42. Gold down 15.80 at 18.69.30. Silver in the red as well by 33.1 cents is 24.32. And Bitcoin, rug pull 18.5, now we're 17.5. So pays not to chase. We all got to find a place to get long
Nah,
Bitcoin.
BTFD, HOD,
I don't
DM,
know, only a
do it all.
grand, man. That's had a big move. So
Yeah.
we had some movers. Sometimes we get them right on the show, and sometimes we get them really wrong. But I think we did okay today.
Yeah. Can we start that the Boeing move? So, um, this was I guess hindsight 2020, but back down to earth. It just goes to show that stock, stocks are out of favor until they're not. This one has not been in favor for how many years now? It's been out of favor for.
I
So
wonder who was listening to the pre-market prep show as we were talking when this was trading at 225. We talked about taking out a pre-market high and continuing. This thing opened at its exact high tick for the session, and there's just nothing. This is what you call a step down seller. That means they're stepping down every bracket. I would say these are 15-minute brackets. So more than filled the gap from yesterday. Sell the news in Boeing. Same for SPR
yep.
that got an upgrade. And I mean, what we said at the top of the show when we were talking about this, are people running out to buy more planes today just because they got one in the air? And
Yeah.
that, yeah. And so that's it. We'll see. We'll see if there's eventually a buy the dip opportunity. But this SPR had one hell of a run.
Can we talk Zoom briefly here for a second? So
Zoom.
Zoom. So I saw this headline, and if you hadn't seen it by now, New York City schools are going back to remote learning, and I saw the headline. It said effective the 19th, and I did not put two and two together. I was like, oh, November 19th. Okay, so like next week or in 2 weeks. No, that's tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, New York City school is going back fully remote. That was the exact headline that prompted Zoom to blast off today. To me, feels like a bit of a desperation move
Can't cat bounce.
for Zoom longs. I mean, for Zoom longs, like if you're long Zoom, this is a gift to me. This
There's
is a
not much of a
present.
gift. I mean, you're still pretty close to the low. Did you hear what Bill Gates said? What do they
No,
have? What do they have going on that CNBC's covering, making a big deal about?
some event, their annual.
Yeah.
event.
He said he thinks the long-term effects of COVID are going to be a 50% reduction in business travel.
I don't know. I mean,
What do you think?
that's not a thing that we're going to know, but like we'll know when we know it in 5 or 10 years. But I I I think that's possible. I can see why he would say that.
Yeah.
He's a much smarter man than I.
Yeah.
So if he thinks it, I think there's reason to believe that that's true. But
I think there's going to be some reduction. I mean, I just don't know. Like you said, there's going to be changes. I mean, business travel, I'd be happy as hell to get out of my house and go downtown and see you all. But before I start thinking about business travel, but yeah, I mean, it's going to take some time to recover. I think there are some, perfectly, there's things that are going to change, and some things are change permanently. And I think business travel. That doesn't mean that Zoom is going back at 600. Zoom was extremely overvalued, low barriers to competition. So a lot of different factors with that. But with that being said, that's a bounce, but that's like that's like a dead cat bounce. That's nothing yet. I don't know what you're going to get to turn this around. And I think even if it had its run, when these stocks go from 600 to 400, you have a hell of a time getting back up there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I certainly, I guess I like to see this continue to go down, because that means that we're getting closer to being back to normal. What about Peloton? Kicked my butt today, I'll tell you that. I did the 20-minute high interval training, and I kicked my butt today because I haven't been able to go swimming. Still, not much of a bounce here. Finding support just under $100, but hey, what's going to be the catalyst to take this thing back up to even over 110?
So I want to go into this EV trade. It's been a weird day for the EV stocks, because on the one hand, you've got Tesla up 10%. You've got Lordstown Motors up, leading the way today, up almost 12%. Even Nikola, which we have not talked about, Nikola getting in on the action, up 15%. And on the other hand, you've got names that haven't, like Hyliion and Neo. There are a couple others here. I mean, I guess Candy is rallying up 20%, but not all these names are moving together here, which is an interesting situation. I mean, Workhorse is up to 6% today.
Yeah, we were looking at
interesting situation now that the EV trade, like when that first got hot, when was it, like June, July, somewhere in that window, they were all moving together pretty much, and now they're not all moving together. So I'm not quite sure how to interpret that.
There's one reason and one reason only Tesla's moving today, and you know what that is. The Jonas Brothers.
I knew there was some not serious thing you were going to say, but I didn't know what it was going to be.
The Jonas Brothers.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, for Tesla.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what you're referring to.
The Jonas Brothers.
Yeah. What does that have to do with Tesla?
Doesn't one of the Jonas Brothers work for Morgan Stanley?
Oh man, Joel, that was a good one. Okay, it took me a minute to pick up on what you were putting down, but that was a good one.
Oh, it's Adam Jonas. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did not pick up on what you were putting down there. Yeah, Adam Jonas from Morgan Stanley upgraded Tesla this morning. Like he's got like his base case, his bull case, his bear case, but he upgraded or raised his price target on Tesla this morning or last night. So that was your catalyst there.
Yeah, he's got a suitcase full of money if he came in long on this. Nice rug pull here, because what you did is everyone was expecting to go up yesterday, right? When it got added to the S&P, but they sold it off. So then they come out with this upgrade. So it sold off yesterday, rallying today on an upgrade. I do not like when stocks rally on upgrades, especially with a guy that's so wishy-washy, but you can't argue with the price action. You see the double top just over 500. That's where Tesla's going. That's going to make Raz happy. And there it is. There's a move in Tesla. You can't fight it. NIO earnings. It's an interesting day because they beat it down and then they came it back and they had me, I got that wimpy old put spread on, and they had me on my edge of my seat. I got lucky putting it on. I'm like, I'm going to take it off. Then I'm like, nah, I'm going to wait. So now it's selling off. No downside. Bulls are, listen here, you Neo Bulls. You guys are in control until you take out the Andrew left low at 40.55. Bulls are firmly in control, Neo. I don't know why I'm still holding the put spread. S&P's taking another leg down here, folks. 35.72. We're picking up momentum to the downside. They even, oh man, they took out my last number on my sheet. That's not good. I was ill prepared on the downside. But that's you got also with Neo. And the other thing that kept me in this trade was I was looking at mid range. And, this 50% retracement, I can never draw it right. But I said, let's see how this ends the day. It had that all-time high. What was that? Right near 54. I can never get that right. You know what I'll do? I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. And I'm going to go to my data window, and I'm going to do the simple math. It's much easier in drawing all those lines. And what you will see is here, this is the way I prefer to do things. 54.20, let's just call it 14-point move, right? So $7, 47. What's your high today? 46.72. So Bears want to keep it under 47 or under today's high, and the Bulls want to take out 40.50. S&P is about to trade into 35.60 handle. 35.71 is the current low of the session.
All right, I want to go to China now and go to YY.
Why?
Yeah, that's the
People are saying, why do I own this?
Joy is the company. Another day, another Chinese company being accused of fraud. This one from noted short seller Muddy Waters and Carson Block. They exclusively focus on China and Asia, so this is their wheelhouse. They've called other companies out before. I believe they're also in Unlocking Coffee. And they're saying, so YY is essentially a streaming platform.
Okay.
Similar to you, I guess the equivalent would be like Twitch. It's kind of like the Chinese version of Twitch. And Muddy Waters saying that basically the earnings that YY claims that their streamers make are all from bots and nothing is actually real. Now, about was it a month ago now, or maybe a little more than a month ago, Baidu was rumored to be coming in and acquiring most of YY's business. I guess they're non-international business, and so Baidu traded down with this headline today. It was at the same time that the YY that short report broke. It was like at 12:45 or somewhere in that window, or no, it was like 1:45. It's somewhere in that window, and so they're both trading down today. YY is your big loser, down 25%.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do technicals in that one since it got lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But I'll just tell you that this area, watch this Baidu here. And it is down. It's not out. Was trading over 150. Just my spidey sense, tells me here on this one that, the Bulls are still in control until you take this out. Let's call it 141 there. You had the breakout, you came back down to 140, you're holding. So that's it. That's what I'm looking at here in Baidu, but certainly that YY news is not helping it out.
Yeah, and this is why I try to stick to, if I'm going to buy any Chinese equity, I'm going to stick with an ETF. And it's why I own K-Web, limits my risk, because we know that these companies can have creative accounting practices.
Yes.
And so I limit my risk by owning the ETF and never an individual stock.
Okay.
I want to, Joel, do you have something to add? I want to go to questions from our chat here.
Go.
Cool. Let's go to, I'm looking at the chat. If you have any questions, drop them in here, any tickers. We will take a look. Shout out to Benzinga and crew for CRSR lately. Let's take a look. I haven't looked at that chart for a couple of days. Wow. All right.
And what did Benzinga do?
We've talked about this one on our show recently.
Oh, I think Mitch talked about this one.
Yeah. Mitch brought this up. I want to say late last week. This is
it's a gaming ETF, right?
Well, it's not an ETF, but we were talking about like here And I believe it was here and this, and there was one more, Mitch. I think you may have brought up, but CRSR having a good day today.
What can you say? I mean, I don't like this. Might be it's not the red kind of candle day, but you got up to 37, almost 37. Now you're backing off. So that's that's not good. So I'd keep an eye on today's high, today's low, especially today's closing price, and see that's going to be the all-time high. Use that as a mark, but good right out of the gate on that one. I really can't say anything about it. Also, if you're looking and you're bullish and you're trading this thing from the long side, open 34.67. What was the close? 34.65. Boom, made it 34.64 low. Oh no, that's on the 15-minute. What am I looking at? Open 32.70, took 32.55. So there was no gap there to worry about, and off to the races. But let's see. A lot of updates here. This thing's gone from what 24 to almost 37 pretty quickly. Maybe due for a little bit of a breather.
All right, a few comments here about NVIDIA. That's the headliner after the close today. There are a couple of reports that I'm interested in, but NVIDIA is the big one. We're also going to get Sonos, L Brands, Billy, which is BILI, but NVIDIA, obviously the headline report after the close tonight.
Okay, heading in, you're going to take a look at it. NVDA, not a big fan of $500 stocks, but boy, look at this. Boy, you got some firm resistance here, several highs in the 544 area, right? And then the double top up here just above 580 on the downside. Probably supported 500. The only thing about this one that you got to be not worried about is a stock split, right? We know how the market reacts to stock splits. So, maybe if they come out with a punk report but split, you could have a rally in this one. But pretty well trade the range over the last couple of days. Could have made a few dollars doing that. But we'll see what happens with NVIDIA after the close. Spoozer, we're headed. We're on the lows of the session, 35.68. I guess I blame it on Cuomo, I guess, and the New York school thing. Obviously, we will be keeping an eye now that $3,600 level, even though we don't have a high or a low there. It's a psychological level. So maybe get a shot at that overnight if you're looking to lighten up on the long side or try short.
What about RKT? We haven't talked this one for at least a week. I feel like that's long enough of time. I was emailing with a listener today about a SPAC that is not getting a ton of attention. Actually, I think the merger is going to go through in the next few weeks here, and let me pull the email chain up because I don't remember exactly.
What merger?
The merger is the current ticker is GHIV, and they're merging with UWM, right? United Wholesale Mortgage. And I don't know when the merger is going through. They've already announced it, but so GHIV is not moving, right? It's a SPAC. It's actually the daily announced that merger was kind of the high of that move. It's sold off since then, but we were just emailing about RKT and what will become UWM and those two together.
The only thing I would say is that is the housing market going to get any better than this? Right? I mean,
I think the one thing that look, it's obviously on fire right now. The one thing that's potentially concerning is what's going to happen next year as far as delinquencies. There was all this relief this year that I think expires at the end of the year. So what happens when all that relief ends and people just can't afford to pay their mortgage? I don't know. Maybe that's what the market's saying.
Okay. Boy, oh boy, we really lost some altitude here.
Oh, 4:00. Damn.
Closing near the lows, folks. A double bottom did not turn out to be a triple bottom, so I'm going to adjust my sell target to 35.85 tonight if we get a little pop here. But no, not a good day for the market. Maybe got a little bit ahead of itself, but who knows what can happen tomorrow?
Final
Happen
tally.
overnight.
Yeah, final tally is SPY down 1.2% for the day, and the Q's down 0.75% for the day. So I haven't checked the Russell, but I'm imagining that. Let's check the Russell real fast. Russell down 1.4%. All right, growth is back in play. There we go. On tomorrow's show, looking ahead to tomorrow, we will be joined by one of our favorite guests, Anne Marie Band. She runs the tradingbook.com.
Excellent.
And we are always excited to hear from Anne Marie because she always brings
cheerful
a sense of calmness to our lives and helping us trying to figure out what's going on with these markets. Before we go, I want to remind you all to hit that like button. We appreciate all the likes, all the comments, all the participation on our YouTube channel and our chat there, on Benzinga Pro and on Benzinga.com.
Excellent behavior by the afternoon crew.
Excellent behavior, Joel is noting, as always. We appreciate that. Please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a good rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.
Okay, that was a little more interesting, huh?